Hi, this is Mary at Rise Horticultural Therapy, and I am in our greenhouse today with a number of different types of things in front of me that we use during our horticultural therapy projects and sessions and things like that. And so I'm really coming to you to get you a video to show you how things have started here and what we have to offer and what to expect if you order from us, our plants or cuttings possibly. We even have seeds and soils. We have a lot of different things that we can offer you to make your horticultural therapy sessions even easier. So I've gathered a couple items that I like to use whether I'm leaving the greenhouse and going out into the community to work either at hospitals, different types, nursing homes, that type of place. I always carry a container for watering because watering seems to be a very popular request. People like to water things in. They're always worried about their plants. I have a pitcher that I bought that I have it has 1 and 2 quarts. It's got 4 quarts a gallon. And what I've done is when I put water in there, I actually weigh it out. So I know that if there is a weight bearing issue, what the full volume weighs and half, and therefore, so that you know that they may not be overdoing it. I also carry this little rubbery type of matting with me. I cut it into small pieces. It could set individually underneath a pot. I cut them into placemat settings, and I take them with to and from my locations. What that does is it offers your clients a stability area. If you're working, let's say, in a hospital at a very smooth table, pots and scissors and things like that will move across the table and frustrate people who may not have the dexterity to hold on to things. And so this is always a nice thing, and it sometimes holds some soil so you can pick it up and clean up afterwards. I always carry a spray bottle with me because misting sometimes takes a little bit longer than pouring water on it. So that's an option. I never leave the greenhouse without having a black Sharpie, and I just have some old labels around. I like to label things if people are taking something with you and you've got a lot of projects going on. I'll cut this into strips and put people's names on it, the date on there. If we are actually taking cuttings, I like to have the date on so I know, maybe it takes 3 weeks to root, maybe it takes 6 weeks to root. And that always varies upon the environment in the greenhouse or whatever setting you're at. It could be the season. And it's always just a good idea to kind of get a feel for the time frame for rooting. So those are a few of the things that I carry with me. I always have some trays that I fill with soil. This one happens to have a nice light germinating mix in it. Some of my clients don't want to touch the soil, so we'll use a nice plastic spoon, or you can even use a big scoop if you're using bigger pots. I save all the little plastic scoops from my laundry detergent. Most people don't use powdered laundry detergent anymore, but I still do, and so I have stacks of those. A lot of different little things that we like to reuse, recycle. For some of our younger kids, it's a good teaching tool along the way as well. So those are some of the items that I highly recommend that you keep at hand. And I'm sure that you have lots of other things that you may have been using that are good for you to keep. Maybe write them down in some sort of journal that you might have, and it always helps. I always stick them in my book and just kind of keep records of what I'm doing. So after all of these little projects here, or all these little gadgets that you might need, I want to just kind of give you an idea of how the plants come to you. So we've been doing horticultural therapy for about 4 or 5 years now, sometimes here in the greenhouse, and like I said, sometimes out within the community in different areas. And I have an enormous variety of plants at my fingertips. So I have been able to go last minute if somebody calls and said they would like something to happen, within a day or so. I can go into the greenhouse and take cuttings of all sorts of plants and make a small project with our little trays here where they're just actually taking cuttings and placing them in. And so that has kind of turned into a very popular type of horticultural therapy session for me. And I wanted to be able to bring all these different plants to other people who might be doing horticultural therapy. So you're not limited to your spider plants or your coleuses, and your budgets may be very restricted, and these will be very inexpensive and offer you a nice variety. So one of the trays that we're just done just a few days ago with a lady that happened to have a stroke about a year ago, and then after her stroke she developed cancer of the jaw. She is now through her radiation, and she's feeling good enough to come into the greenhouse and work on some of the plants. Her left side is very weak. She's able to kind of hold a pot in her hand and use her dominant right hand to do some cuttings. But this is her first session, so she wasn't quite there yet. So what I did for her is I went through and did some of the cuttings. I showed her how I did the cuttings, laid them in front of her, and she actually had a tray like this and took the cuttings and placed them in the hole. For somebody who has a stroke, for them to get them in the holes was very, it could be difficult at first, but I could see her getting better as she went along. And we chose a lot of different plants, some that had different colors, textures, and smells, and that helped to stimulate things for her as well. So this tray that she did, we call our Houseplant Special. It has some very familiar plants like your spider plant, your peperomia, coleus. Again, this plectranthus, which is very soft. It has a very different smell to it. Ivies, we have a goldfish plant, and wandering Jew. So that could come to you, and you could have one person plant all of them. You could have a number of different people look at them, and they may be interested in one plant over the another. It could bring you a lot of conversation. It might be a nice opening for a new client, so you kind of get to know them better. And it might be for nursing home. It might bring back memories of houseplants they may have had. A lot of different options for this one. So what I do is when I'm meeting with a lot of clients, I will go through the greenhouse and I will gather cuttings. Some may be very long. For example, this is a scented geranium. Some could be medium-sized, and some could even be a little bit shorter, or maybe the right exact size that we want for a cutting. But sometimes what happens is when you get your trays, you may be getting trays with cuttings that are taller, and this would arrive and allow you to not only plant this up as a tall plant, but once it's planted, take your scissors and make a cutting. Easily make a cutting and start another little project. So we want to offer you some plants that might be a little bit overgrown in the tray, some that might be a little bit smaller, and they will offer you a little bit more in your projects than just planting. So these guys never are sprayed with any chemicals. They are grown organically. We do biological controls here at our greenhouse. We use no insecticides, no pesticides, that type of thing. Especially in the springtime, if you order an herb tray, you can touch it, you can taste them. You have no worries that there is anything on there that is going to harm any of your clients. The soil that we have is sterilized, and it is Fafford brand soil, so it is a nice quality commercial grade soil. So I just wanted to be able to bring to you some of the things that we are doing here so you understand what plants are coming. Take a look at the selections that we have. We may offer some suggestions as to these types of groups of plants that you might use for specific clients, but you might be able to expand that in the clientele that you're servicing. By no means are they going to be exact for what you're doing, so you can be very, very creative with this group of plants. Feel free to call us. Check our website. We'll have monthly projects going on, so if it's middle of the winter and you're kind of stuck as far as what you can do, we'll have plants that we can ship to you, and we'll have projects that you can do. And we'll try to get you through the seasons so that you are always either gathering, planting, sprouting, those types of things, and saving what you're growing, saving what you're doing, so that it could be another project for the next month. So any questions, call us. Any special projects, please call us. If you need large volumes of plants, we can handle it. Like I said, we have quite a nice variety of plants, and you'll see that on our website, the different lists that we provide. And I'm always open to suggestions, and I just enjoy it so much, and I want to bring the creativeness and the varieties to all who are out there doing horticultural therapy, just so that it benefits your clients as much as it's benefited mine.